Three, two, one.
Welcome to the Sports Junkie Lounge. Dive into the world of sports with stories, debates, and all the action you crave. Your hosts, Cha-Cha, D-Lo, and the rest of the Run It Back crew are here to fuel your sports addiction. Now let's get it poppin'.
All right, everybody, we are back in the Sports Junkie Lounge.
What up?
D-Lo, Cha-Cha.
Always in the building.
So yeah, there was a couple, I really wouldn't say interesting things that happened throughout the week. Just,
well, UK lost to South Carolina again for the fourth year in a row.
Yeah, we gonna get into that one because not too long, people. Because I'm still gonna have to. Cha-Cha may feel something different. Not gonna put that on him, but I feel the same way about UK football as I felt as the start of the season and the way we've been going. So
yeah, I agree. I feel the same way too. But for me, it's about wins and losses and where we need to get better. Because whenever you're ready to dive into it, man, we can dive into it. So where you want to start?
And then we'll dig into the NFL. Some of the games we kind of see as marquee as far as our scores for the week, and then we'll get into a little list because the list is a little looking different now. So
yeah. I don't know if y'all remember, but last week I took some tiebreakers, so this way we would not break even. So it's going to be interesting who pulled it out and who didn't, and I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait to get into it, and especially our marquee matchups. They turned out to be what we thought they were going to be.
Yeah. And so with that being said, I guess let's dive on into the UK, man. Let's get it over with.
Okay, so I'm not going to say a whole lot about it. We lost again.
The big L.
We look good early. Stoops got outcoached. That's number one. He got outcoached. We look good early, and he got outcoached. Now, the one thing that I want to bring up that's really grinding my gears.
What's grinding them gears?
Family, yeah, man.
What's grinding them gears?
Now 4 losses. We have not scored over 14 points. We cannot score over 14 points on them, and the thing about that is we didn't even score 14 this game. I think did we score 14 or 13? I think it was 13.
I think it was 13.
Yeah, we only scored 13. So, and then one of the losses we only scored 6. So we got 14, 6, 14, and now 13. We cannot get over 14 points, and that's just not going to get it. It's not going to get it. It's just not. Something's got to change.
Yeah.
Something's got to change.
What
did you see? What did you take away from it? What did you take away from it as far as where we failed?
Okay. Well, the one thing I will say, I still think that they should keep Cutter as our quarterback, and even when Calzada come back, do not put him.
Ready. He's ready.
Do not put him as starter. Keep Cutter. I will say that one. Now,
I agree.
I still think the Stoops need to go.
Yes, we're in agreement with that.
And I think we need a whole coaches change up.
Yeah.
Because we need to get coaches on the head coach, the defensive coach, and the
DC, the OC.
Yeah. We need to get
teams.
all them. We need to have them on the same page.
The damn ball boy.
Because
equipment manager. We need to start fresh.
This is the one thing that I've realized with under Stoops is there are some game the offense is clicking, but the defense is falling. The defense is clicking, but the offense is falling. Or we got the special teams that's clicking. But that right there, the special teams is really more of a it's more rare.
That's a hit and miss.
Yeah, like I like as long as the kicker is kicking and making them,
job.
I'm good with special teams.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I agree. And the punter is doing his thing.
yeah.
Not getting them blocked, getting it off in a timely manner to where it doesn't get blocked, and he's pinning them back like he's supposed to, and not kicking it out into the end zone.
Yeah.
I will say this about, you said sometimes the offense is clicking and then the defense isn't. I think that the defense is always clicking to start, but
They
the
get
offense, right? The offense won't keep them off the field, and that's a problem.
And I agree. I do agree with that. I really do. But there's been some times where and it's far in between. But there is some times where I've seen the defense just didn't click right. You know what I mean? Like they don't read kind of like what their offense is doing.
Missed tackles,
and they don't line up right to where they get the deep coverage, or they get the front coverage that they need.
Right. And Stoops just doesn't get in their ass enough for me for that. Like that's a saving type thing. He get in your ass. But I'm gonna say a couple of things, and I want to move on from it. But Cutter, they gave him all that he wanted, because I don't think he's ever went through that. Not even in high school. South Carolina just had him shook, and he couldn't get out of it. He fumbled. He fumbled again under interceptions, a pick six.
Yeah.
He was shook. He was shook, and he was visibly shook. And I don't think that Stoops should have left him in for the whole game. And maybe he was trying to save face for him, or even making sure that Calzada didn't get hit, because they was sticking old Cutter too. They was hurting that man.
And because I will say this, and with Cutter, he took the hits. You know what I mean? He took him like a champ.
He had no choice.
But I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
He got back up.
Yeah, he got back up, and he just went back at it. You know what I mean? Any other quarterback would have been done.
Yeah, and once again, he got back up, but then he followed up with an interception. It was just, so he did get back up. It didn't hurt him, but he didn't bounce back. He got up, but he didn't bounce back. And you need that from your quarterback when your offense needs a big play.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be that. You need to be able to find a way. And I think today, not today, but that game, he found out just exactly, because they play Georgia next.
I know.
And Georgia's watching the tapes like, oh, okay. So they're gonna have to game plan for Cutter in a way that he gets the ball out. But then they get, when they do stuff like that, they get so routine.
Mm-hmm.
They get so I forget the word, but they get nonchalant. It's just like an old playbook from the early 2000s. Stoops, he's just the same. He never changes. He doesn't adjust, and that's why he has to go. His offense is not dynamic enough, and
that's why I was saying, and because that's why I think where Cutter kept he kept running the same plays they want him to run, because I think he's scared that when Calzada comes back that he's going to be put to the bench. And then they just run the same plays. They're so predictable.
Yeah, right. Predictable. That's the word I was looking for.
And it's like do something else. Do something different.
It's not dynamic enough.
If you're a foot or a yard away from a first down on the fourth down, go for it.
Yeah.
What are you scared of?
And don't do that simple ass off tackle and all of that and pitch.
Yeah.
That you lose 2 or 3 yards with that, and they already got their ears reared back, and so yeah, Stoops, but his buyout is going to be astronomical, and so that's the hold up on that. But they're not going to fire him. I don't think they would fire him in the middle of the season anyway, but I think that this is it for him.
Yeah, no,
we haven't won a game in the SEC in 2 years?
Yeah, I think with with this season, just go ahead and ride it out. Take the losses that we get, take the wins that we get. It is what it is at this season. But the end of this season, because I think even at this season, at the end of this season, Mitch Barnhart is retiring.
Okay. Yeah.
So with that being a new AD, I think that would be
the cue to get Stoops on out there. New era.
Right.
New era.
Because what I heard was Mitch Barnhart, he was trying to give him a lifetime contract like he did Calipari. And I was like, you didn't learn from the last one? Like, stop giving people lifetime contracts.
And like I said, Stoops 10-2, okay, fine, but it's still mediocrity to me because you're still not competing for the SEC championship.
Yeah.
So we make it so, we've gotten to the point to where, just because we're bowl eligible, that's great. No, now they've expanded it to 12 teams. Mm-hmm. And I get so sick and tired of seeing teams like Tulsa in the top 25 or Tulane in the top 25, Boise State in the top 25. And now Vanderbilt, they're better than they were last year. They're in the top 25.
Yeah, I mean, and we're in a tough conference. We got Georgia, Alabama, Texas,
and even now Vanderbilt is not even a sure win. And now we definitely can say South Carolina. At least those were two that we could count on with South Carolina and Vanderbilt, but not anymore.
Yeah, and then you got Tennessee, Auburn. Even
problem,
I mean, even now Florida. Like Florida's been making a little bit of noise. Florida, you know what I mean?
They lost to they've taken some lumps. That's a winnable game. Florida is a winnable game. Is it at home or are we at home or are we on the road?
We're at home. I do believe we're at home.
If we are, that's gonna help
for Texas. So the Texas, Tennessee, Florida, and Texas Tech or Tennessee Tech, we're at home.
Okay.
Auburn, Vanderbilt, and Louisville, we're away.
Okay, because defense, like we gave Tennessee all they wanted last year, and so I think we can again with Arch Manning. He's not that great. He can run, I think. Well, no, he thinks he can run. He's all right, but we can. The Texas defense is going to be what it is.
But also remind you, we're facing. You said he plays for Texas, right?
Who?
Manning.
Yeah, Arch, the quarterback.
Yeah.
Archie Manning's grandson.
We're facing them after a bye week because we go on a bye week after this.
And so I'm just saying that we can get to Arch. We can make life hard for him.
Yeah.
We just got to move the ball, and that Texas defense, yeah, so
they can make it just as hard as we can make it for them.
I'm not saying that Texas is winnable. It was winnable last year. I think I hope that we can come back and play defensively like we did last year. And then hopefully Cutter can, like I said, I think teams are just going to come after him now after what South Carolina did. But in the end, and I'm gonna wrap this UK part of me up, is that I think Stoop needs to go. I think Cutter got a life lesson. I think he'll be better for it. He got a dose of what it's like to play in the SEC. He's got to put the team on his shoulders, and the fumbles and the interceptions. I honestly think, and I hate to say it because it's Georgia, but I think that he'll be better. I don't think he'll have as many turnovers.
Yeah. With me wrapping up with Kentucky, I agree with you. I think they need to get rid of Stoops, and they kind of need to revamp their coaching to where it's more cohesive. And then I am worried about Georgia. Georgia might be another life lesson for Cutter. You know what I mean? But I do agree he did get some life lessons to where it will be like I think he may show up a little better for Georgia. I don't think our team as a whole is gonna be able to hold Georgia.
And side note, Georgia took that L to Alabama, so they're
looking for blood.
Yeah,
they're a shark in the water.
That was a very winnable game. So Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. Georgia might give him that work.
Yeah. With that being said, we're gonna take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll get into the NFL. See how we did.
Yeah. All right.
So with that being said, we taking a break. Peace. All right, everybody, welcome back from the break. So we are in the NFL week 4.
Yeah.
So, and this is the one thing I didn't know, but let's go over our record.
Okay, so out of 16 games, week 3 we tied. We were both 5-11. For week 3, we only had 5 wins. It was a rough week.
It really was a rough week.
There was
we
upsets.
was 5-11.
5-11. And so my thought process was, how can I be tied with this man when he doesn't watch as much pro football as I do, or hasn't in the past?
Damn, he's gonna call me out like that.
No, I'm just reminding the audience what I said I was going to do.
I know.
And so to recap, there was 3 games that I picked, because we pretty much picked identical, as far as who we felt like was going to win. So I intentionally said, you know what, there's going to be 3 games, and I'm going to pick opposite you. But it's not only going to be because, I want to make sure my record is better than yours for week 4, but because I think that it's a winnable game. I'm not just going to be that dude. I'm going to analyze it as well, because they're at home or if they're on the road, and what I've seen from the team that I'm picking not to win, and why. And
that's why I respect the picks that you did, because you have, like you said, you know a little bit, more than I do of football. Mm-hmm. So I honestly expect you to win, like.
I do too.
I do. We chop it up. I cut my jokes, but I do, like, out of football. Now basketball might come a little different. You're
gonna get this work. You're gonna get this work.
He's gonna get that work.
So let me say this. So there was 3 games that I picked opposite, and I was 2-1, and he was, of course, 1-2, and even the game that I lost. I lost on a last-second field goal. So yeah, I think I did great. And so he ended up. I ended up 9-6-1, and he ended up
8-7-1.
Yes, 8-7-1. Yeah. So I got the tiebreakers did what it was supposed to do. Because I'm telling you, fans, subscribers, audience members, I don't expect to lose any more weeks, period. And I mean that. All right, so I mean that. So let's get into the we picked how many marquee matchups did we have? 6?
Yes.
6. So let's get into them. Which marquee matchup you want to talk about first?
Well, actually, before we get into the marquee match, I want to talk about something I didn't know that would happen in football. I thought that was like a definitive score type situation. So I honestly do want to speak on the tie game.
Okay.
So
what did you think?
The Packers and the Cowboys.
Okay.
I really expected the Packers to pull it out.
That's all right.
I didn't put into the factor of Dak and the rest of the Cowboys wanting to show out in front of in front of the fans to the Micah Parsons trade. That I didn't put in a factor. So, and I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know in football or the NFL that they had a tie, because most of the sports that I know of ties has been like I think there's been baseball has been in a tie. But
no, baseball, professional baseball, if they have like delays, like let's just say it's a rain delay or storm lightning, they wait a certain amount of time to the game to pick back up.
Okay.
And depending on what innings, and I can't remember, depending on what innings, they will either pick it back up, or they'll just call it, and whoever's ahead, they declared the winner. Now, if the game if it's delayed before the game starts and it takes too long, then they just have a double header the next time the two teams meet. They just play early.
Okay.
So that's how baseball. There is no tie. They just delay or end it or whatever.
Yeah, because I know
it doesn't end in a tie.
Because I know in soccer they do have tie games.
Yeah.
Basketball is a definitive score.
Yeah,
you either head or
they'll go to
behind.
quadruple overtime. They'll just keep doing overtime.
Yeah.
And hockey has ties as well.
Oh yeah.
Hockey has ties. So you didn't know that the NFL plays to a tie?
Yeah, I didn't know the NFL played to a tie.
Yeah, so and it's only it's like a 5-minute quarter. And I think it may have changed, but because I was trying to look at it, but it's usually just a 5-minute quarter.
And does college do that too?
No, college doesn't play quarters. College is possessions.
Okay.
College is each team gets it on the 25, and then after, if they both continue to get touchdowns and then touchdown, extra point, then after so many, you have to go for 2.
Okay.
You have to go for 2.
Okay.
So that's how that works.
Okay.
For as far as touchdowns and field goals or whatever.
Yeah, and like I said, with the Packers and the Cowboys, I really thought the Packers were going to pull it out. I didn't put in a factor of it being the home game for the Cowboys and them with the Micah Parsons trade.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just felt like that Dallas hasn't been playing good this season. They haven't. I mean, except against the Giants, and that to me was more the Giants than Dallas because the Giants did horribly. They hadn't looked good. But they came out and played out until Russ got that bad interception at the end, that I think it was overtime because they went down. Yeah, that game went into overtime. He threw a bad interception. They went down and kicked the field goal. So let me explain how that works, because it used to be sudden death. It used to be called sudden death overtime, which meant the first team to score. So whoever got the ball first, you could just go down and kick a field goal and the game would be over.
Right.
And so then they started saying, let's do it more like college. We both teams should get a shot at it.
Right.
So they did change it, but it's still kind of sudden death. But the first team that has it, if they score a touchdown, then the game is over.
Okay.
But if they kick a field goal, the game continues.
Okay.
So then if they kick a field goal, so that's how it was. They both end up kicking a field goal. So once the first team possesses it, then it's the next team
to retaliate.
Yeah, so once the first team gets it, then the other team, all they have to do is kick a field goal. From that point on, it's just the best score. But they still have that one quarter. It's not. And they get 2. If they didn't have any in regulation, they get 2 for overtime.
Yeah, because I will say in soccer they do have a sudden death thing to where they go to each goal has a chance. Yeah. But I think that's like
10 times. I think it's like 10 times.
I think that's deep in Cup series.
They have that. That's their overtime. I think each team gets 10 tries.
Yeah.
So it's the most out of 10 tries.
So I honestly, that's the one thing I did learn new was I didn't know there could be a tie in football.
And actually, and I'll say this, and we can get into the marquee matchups. A couple of years ago with my Raiders, we were playing the Chargers. It was the last game of the season.
I think I remember that game.
Yeah, so it was between the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Steelers. So whoever won between the Chargers and the Raiders, the winning team would go and the Steelers would go. Now, if the game ended in a tie, then both teams would go and the Steelers would go home. And this game was about to end up in a tie. It went into overtime. And so the Raiders were cool with it. They was like, the Chargers had the ball, and they're like, well, shoot, they'll probably just run out the clock. And then we both go on to the playoffs and do our thing. Well,
the Chargers had something different in mind.
The Chargers ran a play, did a pass play that stopped the clock. And so now it's 4th down, and now they say, oh,
3.
so okay, well so the Raiders called a timeout, so forced them to punt, and we was able to go down and kick a game-winning field goal, but we were okay with the tie. We was so we wasn't. But when he ran that play, and so that game could have ended in a tie, and both teams make it to the playoffs,
right?
Based on their record. So I want to say that was interesting because I was happy to send the Chargers home. Let me say that, and that was a major debacle on the coach's part. That was a major debacle.
All right, so let's get into these marquee games. So we'll start with the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
That was my tiebreaker. The Seahawks have an awesome defense. Their defense is like top 5.
Yeah.
Their defense as far as the run, and which I saw it in the preseason. I've been saying it, but I was going to have questions about Sam Darnold, because at that first game of the season, I think he was just adjusting to the new offense. Right. Sam Darnold came from Minnesota, got them all the way to the playoffs. He rejuvenated his career, but he's been looking good. But the Cardinals, and I picked the Cardinals, and they held their own. As a matter of fact, they had some opportunities. The problem with the Cardinals is that they're dropping Kyler Murray's passes at the most inopportune time, and they have Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State. He was like the top receiver in the nation coming out, because he could have came out as a sophomore. He played one more season and came out. He was like the number 4 pick for the Cardinals. They had the 4th pick, and they picked him, and he's been dropping passes. And so he finally after dropping a couple of passes, he caught one in the end zone, and you could just see he took a knee like he was praying, but you could just see he was more like, finally. You could just see he literally was like, finally, because he doesn't look confident, and he looks lost. But after he caught that touchdown, then the next thing you know, he was off and running. And my Cardinals, they made a comeback, and because I actually have the Cardinals to win the division. I actually picked them to win the division. I should have went with Seattle, because I think I went with I might have went with San Francisco first, but I think I changed. Well, no, I didn't pick them at all. Then I decided to go ahead and go with Arizona, but they came back and tied it up, but left too much time on the clock. So Seattle went down and kicked the game on the field goal. But I was happy with what I saw. Yeah, and I think a couple of plays, because they've lost 2 in a row now, but they dropping passes where they have to settle for 3 instead of the touchdown, and so instead of extending the lead. So I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'm okay with that, L, because like I said, that was my only loss, America. Yeah, out of the tiebreakers. He's gonna take that.
He's gonna take that L.
The tiebreakers, yeah, I'll take it. Because the other 2 was a bounce back for the tiebreakers. Yeah. So what other marquee matchup?
Other marquee game was the Jets and the Dolphins.
I took Miami because Miami was Miami at. I think it was because Miami was at home. Miami was at home. So that and I like the way, I like what I saw out of Tua against Buffalo. They lost 31-21 to Buffalo, but they were never really out of it. Just a few plays here and there, because they hung around, and so a few key plays here and there. So I kind of liked what I saw out of Tua and the Jets. They're just the Jets. So,
Yeah, and I thought the Jets would put up a little bit more fight, because I do think they did. Didn't they win the last?
They're over. Both of these teams were.
Yeah. Okay. So but like you said with the Dolphins, they kind of kept it in the game with the Bills, and but they did lose. So I thought it was going to be one.
I mean, it was pretty close. It was 27-21, but they brought Justin Fields was out for a concussion, but he came back and then Tyreek Hill going out. Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, which I think.
Well, he plays for Miami though.
Yeah. Oh.
So he went out with a busted knee. He a pass play on Yeah, he dislocated his knee. They carted him off. Yeah, they took him on to the hospital. Yeah, we don't know what that's going to be like because, dislocated kneecaps, that's like torn MCL.
No, from what I understand is he already went into surgery for torn ligaments and ACL tour.
Yeah. That's what happens when you dislocate your knee. Ligaments.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
No, I'm not telling you.
No, I
I'm
know.
Just saying. I'm just speaking. I know you've had a torn ACL, but I was just saying like that when they announced it last night when I was watching the game, they were like dislocated kneecap. I'm like, nah. When they get into that hospital, it's gonna be more than that.
Oh, I know. Like when I look back and I seen. And dude didn't really have to hold onto his leg like that. Like that was.
I didn't go back and watch it. I seen it live, but I didn't want to watch the replay.
And that's the thing that got me because I wanted to see what exactly happened. That stuff gives me sympathy pains. Like it tears my knee up when I see things like that.
So why are you watching it?
But I really just wanted to get a close look at kind of what happened, because people blow things out of proportion, especially fans. They'll be like, oh, well, that was a dirty play. But honestly, if he didn't hold on to his leg, he just would have let go.
Yeah.
It would have been fine. But he held on to the leg and then twisted. Yeah. And that right there is where I was like, and that I had to stop watching at that point because I was like, I had torn ACL and torn PCL. I know how that feels. Like,
when they was carting him off the field, he was like clapping, cheering, waving to the fans. So he was out of pain. He wasn't in pain, but I know he. I
think that adrenaline was pumping. He wasn't in pain at that point.
They gotta shift the leg back and all of that. So
because I know when I tore my ACL, my PCL, like I wasn't in no adrenaline rush, nothing. I felt it right then and there. Like it was instant.
Yeah, so we can move on from that.
Yeah,
this is giving me the squeaky weakness.
So
Miami. So that was one of the other games that
he took away with.
Yeah, that he picked the Jets and I won that one.
The other one was the Jaguars and the 49ers.
Yes.
And
the Jaguars won. San Francisco was at home. But I wasn't sure if Purdy was going to play or not. Because he's been out for the last 2 games, but I have not liked what I've seen from San Francisco. And then Bosa, their top defensive player, Nick Bosa, he's out with the torn ACL. He's gone for the year. So, when we made this pick, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I didn't know that at the time. But yeah, I just felt like that. And I had watched Jacksonville. The one thing I do know is that Trevor Lawrence is good for an interception, but they've got a solid defense, and I felt like they could have a winning chance, and they caused four turnovers. They caused 4 turnovers, 4 or 5. I can't remember. 4 or 5. Oh, one more thing I want to bring up. Last week, we were talking about Minnesota playing the Cincinnati Bengals, and I couldn't remember who was coming in from. I said I thought it was Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor was with the Jets. He was taking Justin Fields' place, who was out for a concussion. So I just want to fix that error. The actual quarterback for Minnesota is Carson Wentz. That's who it was from Minnesota. So, America, I just wanted to come back and clean it up. It's Carson Wentz that's playing for Minnesota and not Tyrod Taylor. He was starting for the Jets, but he's back on the bench now because Justin is back. So continue.
And my reasoning picked the 49ers. And honestly, I'm not a 49ers fan. I've seen what they have done with the injuries that they've had. Because they've had to deal with some injuries
all the time.
And so I've seen the injuries that they have, and even with those, them being at home, how actually like the games that they won, it was still close, but they still pulled it out. I thought it was going to be like that with them being at home, just a little bit better. So that's where I was coming from on that.
Yeah, I felt like if Jacksonville minimized miscues, turnovers, that penalties and things like that would, that they would give themselves a fighting chance, and they did, They took advantage of the turnovers. They took advantage, and they put a little scare into it at the end.
They did.
San Francisco does what San Francisco does. They Jacksonville won 26-21, and San Francisco had the last possession. I think that San Francisco threw an interception to end the game, as I'm thinking about. So that might have been 5 turnovers for them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That is the thing that I will give us props on, is the games that we pick differently. They end up being close games.
Yeah, yeah.
They end up being close.
Yeah, I took the underdog, so they were gonna be close in my opinion. But I just felt like that.
But then,
I think Miami wasn't an underdog. I just took them because you took the Jets. I'm like, oh well, shoot, I'll take mine.
Yeah. So, and then the other marquee game, which I was kind of surprised on, was the Colts and the Rams.
I was not. The Colts actually should have won this game, and I use should have loosely. There were 2 touchdowns that didn't happen that should have happened. Right. So 1 touchdown, I forget the receiver's name. His number is 10. So he made a heck of a catch on the sideline with the defender on him and came down with it and was running all by himself. And so he tried to celebrate before he got in the end zone. So he was trying to stick the ball out, and he squeezed it, and it popped out of his hand. And when it popped out of his hands, he was trying to retrieve it, and he bounced it, and it bounced in the back of the end zone.
That was the one. He ran it down, and
he was right there at the goal line.
Yeah,
and he tried to stick it, and when he squeezed it, so now he's bobbling it, and he bobbled it all the way to the back of the end zone, so it became a touchback for the Rams. That was one, and then in the fourth quarter, Jonathan Taylor busted a long touchdown, and it got called back because that same receiver held, and he didn't even have to do it. So they lost 2 touchdowns, and it was a good. So the Rams, they got a touchdown at the what they lose. They won 27-20, so it was tied. Mm-hmm. And it was late in the fourth quarter, and so the Colts punted, and on the very next play, they threw an 88-yard touchdown, but the defender fell down, so he was wide open, and so Stafford just laid it out there, and after that, it was pretty much over. But it was very winnable. But I saw what I wanted to see out of the Colts. I did, and they did not disappoint. They did not disappoint me. And Daniel Jones, he hadn't had any interceptions all season. I think he may have had 2 in this game. He may have had 2. So he's human, but he put his team in the position to win. And that's so I saw out of him what I wanted to see, because they play the Raiders, and we'll get into that. Yeah. The week 5. We'll get into week 5 shortly, but yeah. So that's why it was a marquee matchup for me. I wanted to see if the Colts were for real or not. I think they are. I think Daniel Jones is playing. He's doing it. He's not playing lights out, but he's not turning it over. Yeah. He's managing the game. Which is all you can ask for somebody like Daniel Jones.
Yeah. And that's that was a good point. And that's the reason why I picked him, is because I with the success that the Colts have had, I wanted to see what would happen when they're playing against like the Rams, the Chargers, somebody that teams that have been like, or even the Eagles, you know what I mean? Like
who did you pick? Did you pick the Colts or the Rams?
I picked the Colts.
Yeah, we both lost.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
I didn't want to. But they're 3-1 now, so yeah.
But so I mean, the Colts are going to do what the Colts do. The other marquee matchup was the Ravens and the Chiefs.
The Ravens look bad. Their defense looks bad. they're in disarray. KC has looked mediocre, average all season long, and they destroyed the Ravens. They destroyed them. I mean, Lamar Jackson, I don't even think he played the fourth quarter. That's how bad it was. They were never in it. They were never in it.
Yeah.
They won. They won. Excuse me. 37 to 20.
Yeah.
And so I think they might have even got a late touchdown. I mean, every time I turned around, they were scoring a touchdown. Every time I turned around, it was a touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. So, you know.
And so
they got work to do. The Ravens have work to do. The running game is not working. I don't know what they even want to use. Like I was saying earlier, I think that they might be ready to get rid of him.
That kind of brings me to a list. My list of what's going on.
Is that all the marquee matchups? I thought there was one more.
No, that's all the marquees. We did have some ones that was questioned, but as far as like the Texans and Titans,
the Titans, they still got work to do with Cam Ward. They're not looking good at all. They're very beatable. Houston is not. They're not. They're a field goal. They will field goal you to death. They haven't figured out how to get into the end zone. So what was the score on that game? It was 26-20. So they may have finally got in this. They finally got a few touchdowns, but for the most part, they were field goaling it.
Yeah.
You know.
And then the other one in question was the Eagles and the Bucs, just because I thought somehow Baker Mayfield is gonna pull it out somehow.
That's what he's been doing.
I don't know.
He did what he did. I mean, he did his thing as far as. But see, and he became that old Baker. He was talking smack. Shouldn't have been talking smack. There was personal fouls. I'd seen one dude hit him with a forearm shiv up under the chin it was a personal foul, late hit. But he took him down. He brought him back, but he at the end of the game, he threw an interception in the end zone. He was trying to be Brett Favre. I don't know why these players keep trying to be Brett Favre, man, and he got to live to fight another day. But that game ended up being closer than it should have been. What was the score on that game? 31-25. So they actually had a chance to get a touchdown and an extra point to win the game. But they were in the red zone, and he threw an interception trying to extend the play. I think it might even been third or fourth down, but that was the Baker I know. So.
And then you had the Browns and the Lions.
That was what I thought it was going to be. You got to be able to score with the Browns, and that's all there is to it.
And that will go into the factor of what my list looks like now.
Yeah.
And then you have the Panthers and the Patriots.
They blew out the Panthers. I've been watching the Patriots because we had them first game of the season. Like I said, our defense stepped up in the second half, but Drake May he's looked good. Yeah. And when they barely lost to the Steelers and had like 5 turnovers and still could have won that game. So they've just been shooting themselves in the foot. So they had those were their only 2 losses. So now they're 2-2, and they just demolished the Panthers.
Yeah,
the Panthers still have a long way to go. What was the score in that game? So the Detroit game was 34-10, and New England was 42-13. Carolina just cannot get in the end zone.
Yeah.
They just can't. They can't.
So that brings me to my list. Mm-hmm. We'll do this before we do the picks.
Well, yeah, go to your list of teams because my team is on there because I still want to talk about my Raiders.
So we have, of course, I still say the Raiders is on top.
I appreciate that.
I can see the Raiders making more moves, and they like we have said, they didn't do it last game, but when they come out for the second half, they do change up their game plan.
They did.
I do like that. As far as like coaching and stuff, if something ain't working, fix it.
They did.
You know,
mean, the blocking scheme was better. So you got the Raiders. You putting Detroit back in there because Green Bay has been looking average.
Well, like I said, Green Bay is my second team, so Green Bay's not going nowhere. Like Green Bay is going to be a team that I just watch just because if something's not on right now, I'll watch those, and I'll watch those with my mom.
So actually, Green Bay was the one that I said you should take a look at because it was the Ravens, the Raiders.
The Lions is the one you told me I should start looking back at.
No, it was the they were already one of your picks, but you took them out.
Yeah,
but I'm saying what I'm saying is I told you need to start adding. You might want to look at the Packers as well, no matter what. Like your fifth pick, even if you hadn't taken Detroit out. But so you had the Raiders, the Ravens,
the Eagles,
and the Lions, and I was like, you might want to take a look at the Packers.
Yeah, well, the Packers is one of those teams. Like I said, if they lose, they lose. If they win, great.
So who you still looking at now?
So okay, I got the Raiders number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Eagles number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Lions actually number 3. They back in, and they in the top 3.
They bounce back well.
Now the one that's on the chopping block is the Ravens.
Get them out of here.
I just can't get
them out of here.
Like you said, the
inconsistency.
Yeah, and I don't know what direction they're going in.
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to do.
Like I said, I can see a direction that the Raiders going in, even though it's not putting in.
Gino's got to do better.
Yeah, it's not putting in, but as far as like coaching and where the team is at right now, I can see it getting better.
Gino's got to do better. He's got 7 interceptions in 4 games.
Yeah, he
threw 3 this past Sunday. He didn't throw any, but he was ineffective against the Commanders. And we just got flambasted against them. They just ran. Our defense was horrible, but he didn't help. And then he had 3 interceptions against the Chargers and 1 against New England. So he's got 7 interceptions in 4 games, and we lost 25-24 this past Sunday. So he has got to do better. The good thing is our running game finally that Genty finally came to life. He had 138 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, 2 receiving and one rushing.
And like I said, I see. I mean, and it may now just be a quarterback situation for the Raiders. Well, they just need to find their quarterback. As far as
he's supposed to be though. It's just like I said, it's easy to the interceptions. It's easy to get rid of that, but just throw the ball away. Just throw it away. Yeah. Quit trying to be Brett Favre. Damn it, just throw it away.
So, like I said, I do see more promising than the Ravens. I'm sorry, Chad. I wish he was on the call right now.
I will say this. I will say this before we move on, that we went and got Kenny Pickett. I like what I seen with him. I didn't like what I saw with him when he got drafted by the Steelers. He couldn't put any points on the board. But when he was backing up Jalen Hurt and Jalen got hurt, he came in and he did an awesome job. So he got him a Super Bowl ring last year. So he brings that. And if Gino continues with these turnovers, we've got to give Pickett a chance. We have to. We just have to.
And like I said, the Ravens, I don't know where they're going, man. Get
him out of here. Lamar looks scared. He just get him out.
And I even think Lamar actually went out hurt.
No. The score was just like I said. They scored a late touchdown and lost 37-20.
Yeah.
They scored. It was. They couldn't get anything. Lamar, he didn't go out hurt. They just took him out because it was out of reach. Yeah, it was out of reach. We talking about 37-13. It was. Ain't no coming back from that. And like I said, Lamar looks scared. He doesn't know if he wants to run. The old Lamar. I think like I said, he wants to be a pocket passer. He wants to let the world know that he is a passer. And when he's scrambling and extending plays, he's not looking to tuck the ball and run. And when he does, it's too late. And he's getting ate up. He needs to go back to his old form of but at the end of the game, you got to go with what you know. You know what I mean? Like,
you have to, like, if that's what you know, if you don't see anything that you can pass or you can hand off to, make that run.
Yeah, that's
don't
what I'm
be
saying.
scared.
Right, that's what I'm saying, and he's gotten away from that. He's not, and that's why I say he looks scared out there because he's out there half like he can get between two defenders, but he pulls up to try to maybe see if he can find a receiver, but he's not trying to. He's just extending the play. He's not taking, and so he's got to change that. He's got to change that.
Okay, so we ready for our picks? Week 5.
Yeah, give me something right quick. All right.
Okay, so week 5.
Thursday night.
Thursday night, I have the Rams.
They're at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, San Francisco, they're not ready for this. I'm going with the Rams too.
Okay. This is probably maybe first time y'all hear me say this. For Sunday, I got the Vikings and the Browns. I have the Vikings.
Carson Wentz, I don't believe in him. I don't believe in him.
But I don't believe in the Browns neither.
They beat the Packers at home. Let us not forget. That's why. I'm going to take Cleveland.
Okay.
I'm going to take defenses. I think that defense is going to give Carson Wentz all he wants. I think that defense is going to give him all he wants.
And I'm going to let y'all know now. I made my predictions before some of these games. But the Texans and the Ravens, I picked the Ravens.
Wait a minute. I'm not going in order.
I was going off the order what I wrote down on the app so far. Yeah, I'll rewrite them down.
Oh, that's what this is for, though.
Okay.
You don't have to write. So what you do is you right here. You
I
can.
got you. We gonna go in the order of that. Huh?
No, I'm just saying. So whatever you pick, circle it.
Yeah. So let's see here. The
Colts and the Raiders.
All right.
At Indianapolis.
So
Got to go with my Raiders, man. I have to.
I went with the Raiders myself. That they just on my team.
Okay.
So and you went with the Raiders.
Yeah. So you went with the Rams. I'm gonna put a check mark on my sheet. You went with the Raiders. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll circle the ones I got and put a check back.
The Giants and the Saints. I went with the Giants.
Yeah, me too. I like what I saw out of Jackson Dart. I think the defense might be a too. Man, New Orleans is game, but they just. I got to go with the Giants on this.
Yeah.
You went with the Giants too. All right, who's next?
Okay, so we got Dallas and the Jets. Oh man, I went with Dallas, man.
The Jets, yeah, me too.
What you gonna do? I went with Dallas.
The Jets defense is. Okay, I'm gonna go on. Gosh. I don't trust Dallas, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with them. I don't trust them, but I don't.
Same way, man. That was a hurt one for me.
I might switch that before we sign off.
Okay, so then we got the Bucks and the Dolphins.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong list. Okay, we got Denver and Philadelphia.
At Philly?
Yeah, at Philly, I went with the Eagles.
Yeah. I like Denver. Denver beat the Bengals 28-0. They're up and coming, but I think the Eagles have it.
The Eagles is tough.
The defense. Don't sleep on Denver's defense, though.
I'm not, and that's why I did pick Denver on the last one. I'm not sleeping on them. I just the Philadelphia.
No, that's not you. That's just me saying. If anybody out there, thinks that Denver can't win this game, I'm not telling you don't sleep on them. I'm just saying but don't sleep on their defense.
Yeah, I'm just saying Philly at home. Philly has it clicking. They're running off that Super Bowl run.
But they barely winning it too. They're barely pulling off wins. But yeah.
So we got Miami and
at Carolina.
Yeah,
I'm going with Miami. Carolina just they can't get the ball in the end zone.
Wait a minute.
That's right.
Well, I wrote that down wrong then. Yeah.
Who you going with?
Damn, I'm going with Miami, dude.
Yeah, that shouldn't be tough.
Yeah.
Carolina can't score no touchdown.
Nah, I'm going with Miami. I wrote that down wrong. I had them placing off the Buccaneers. But that's why I wrote it down. I was looking at the wrong thing, I guess.
You wasn't supposed to write nothing down. So I did all this for nothing.
No.
Go ahead, man. Continue.
So then we have
Houston
at
the Ravens.
I'm going with Houston.
Okay.
I'm going with Houston.
I'll go with the Ravens on this one. I'll go with the Ravens. So
wait a minute. No, that's the one I did write down. I'm still going with Houston.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm going because I originally had them. I had the Ravens winning. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Houston.
Yeah, they did in disarray, but they're at home. I think this is a bounce back for them.
And that's how I feel with
Tennessee at
with
Arizona.
the Titans. I think that might be a bounce back game for the Titans, but I'm gonna have to chop it up to the Cardinals.
Okay, me too.
And then let's see, we got Tampa and Seattle. I'm gonna go with Seattle.
Their defense is just
boy, Seattle's just tough. Detroit and Detroit and Cincinnati. I'm going with Detroit.
They're gonna beat them to death. Joe Burrow's out. They looking horrible.
I know. Chargers and the Commanders.
Washington, the Commanders are at the Chargers.
That's a tough game, man. I didn't even have nothing written down for that one.
Yeah, Mariota. I told you know what? I was going to reach out to you because Mariota. That's why I said he looked like an All-Pro against us, but then he got up against the Falcons and just looked horrible. That's why I said that's the Mariota that I was looking for against us. Yeah. And we always do that. The Raiders always let a washed-up quarterback come in off the bench and make him look like that he should be the starter all season long.
Yeah, and
but I'm going with the Chargers. I don't trust Mariota. I don't.
Honestly, but I do.
You going with the risk? The Commanders?
I'm gonna go with the Commanders because I do like Debo. So
yeah, he's a difference maker.
Yeah.
Debo Samuels, yeah. So we have. So there's one game that we're different. Two games. You got Houston, and I got the and then here's the third one.
We have
so here's the third one. So there's three right here. So now what's next? New England at Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going with Buffalo.
I got to go with them. New England. I think New England is going to be a problem. They're not there yet. I've got to see them one more. They did what I expected them to do this last game. But I've got to watch Drake May. They're solid, man. They're a team to be reckoned with in the future.
Yeah.
Monday night. Kansas City at Jacksonville.
Man, I just don't want to. I don't want to pick the Chiefs. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
Me too. I'm telling you, I like what I seen out of Jacksonville, and their defense is gonna give Mahomes problems. They're going to look average again. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Ravens, but the Chiefs are not them. I don't know, but yeah. So yeah. So we have three matchups again that will be tiebreakers. So I'll put an asterisk by those. The Cleveland and the Minnesota game. That's one. And then you've got Houston, and I have
3, 2, 1.
The Ravens with the Ravens at home. So that's one. I mean, that's two. And then you took the Commanders, and I took the Chargers. That is the third one.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put an asterisk by those. Any marquee matchups that stand out to you?
Let's see. see here. I mean, I know we're gonna talk about the the Raiders and the Colts game, but I do see that being a good game.
Chino's got to take care of the ball. That's all I'm asking. That's all I want to see.
I just want to see how they adapt from each loss, and that's kind of what.
I have one. I'm really interested to see what New England does at Buffalo. I'm really, and that's the night game. That's the Sunday night game. So I'm interested in that one.
I'll put an asterisk beside that just because that it is interesting to see how some of these teams come back from like a beat down. Like,
well, New England won. They did the beating. They won 42, and Buffalo they beat the Saints 31-19. But I mean, the Saints play you tough, but at the end they can't sustain. So
and because I mean, really the some of the games that I've been like I would have been interested to see. I'm
gonna keep an eye on Dallas and the Jets. I'm not sold on Dallas.
I'm not either.
So I'm going to be interested to see how they handle the Jets defense.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So we have New England and Buffalo. I'm going to be interested in that one, and Dallas and the Jets. I am going to mark one more game.
Okay.
The Thursday night game. No, I'm going to mark two more games then. The 49ers versus the
San Francisco.
The Rams. I believe the Rams are no, they're both 3-1 now because the Rams lost to the Eagles last week. So this is a battle of first place. So that's really going to be an interesting game. We both took the Rams, but I'm anxious to see how San Francisco bounced back after the 4 or 5 turnovers that they had. And then I'm going to mark one more, and that's Minnesota at Cleveland. I want to see how Carson Wentz does against the Cleveland defense at Cleveland.
I already had that one checked.
This is the one that I'm going to be interested. I got it marked because you got Minnesota and I got Cleveland, but I'm gonna mark that as one of my marquees. So Thursday night game, and then Minnesota at Cleveland, Dallas at New York, and New England at Buffalo. I'm telling you, I may change this, America. I may change the Dallas game. I may change my mind. But if I do, I will let D'Lo know well before Sunday. I will let him know well before Sunday. But that one is standing out for me right now. Yeah, I don't trust Dallas like that. I just don't. All right. So anything else? How you feeling, man? You got anything else you want to get off your chest about the NFL?
No.
Let me look at these games because there are some games we did not talk about.
I mean, the other games we didn't talk about. They
wasn't really worth talking about.
It's just it is what it is.
Yeah. We didn't Atlanta. So I'll briefly. Penix had a nice bounce back game. He looked really good against Washington. I thought Washington's defense.
I really thought Washington was going to be better than what they did.
Yeah, because we both picked Washington, but it wasn't even so much as Mariota as much as I liked the defense that they played against us and how they ran the ball against us. And so,
like I said, Debo, he just I thought that was going to be their game changer.
They couldn't stop Penix. They didn't put no pressure on him. He threw for like 313 yards, man. He was beasting them. He was hurting them. They won. And it was a close game, 34-27. It really wasn't that close. They tried to make a game out of it late, but Penix threw for 313 yards, and their receiver Drake London had 110 of those. So Atlanta, they just dominated. They dominated on the offensive side of the ball, and I was shocked. I was too.
Some of these games I was shocked. I honestly thought that the Steelers and the Vikings probably would have been a closer game. I hope I'm not, just because the Vikings is the Vikings. But I am interested to see how Aaron Rodgers does if he got new life with the Steelers.
The Steelers are on a bye.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't bring him up on one of my marquee games for.
Right.
But I just with last week, like I said, I'm just kind of interested to see how the Steelers does with the Vikings.
They finally had a connection with they were in Ireland. That game was early.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. She actually, my wife turned it on football, and while she was getting ready, and I heard it going in the background.
Yeah, they were in Dublin. They were in Dublin, and so he finally hit with DK Metcalf. They got the 80-yard bombs. They finally made a connection. So I'm anxious to see when they get back off their bye week as well.
Right. And with that being said, this is Sports Junkie Lounge with D-Lo and Cha-Cha.
Always in the building, baby.
And we out. Peace.
Deuces.